J-Live
So it's on.
Yeah.
J-Live take Act 1, Scene 1. So what's the questions?
Yeah, about underground hip
They
hop.
want to know about underground hip hop. I mean, there's like mad different reasons you could call it underground. You know, consider it like a resistance from the norm. You know what I'm saying? People who are fighting for the integrity of the music, so to speak, in a war. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the split between the art and the business. The underground would be the side that caters more towards the art and is less concerned with the business. You know what I'm saying? But then sometimes you could consider it underground because it's hard to find. You have to dig it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not looking for it, you're not gonna see it. You have to know about it. You have to have some kind of awareness, some sort of enlightenment, in order to really find the music that's trying to push the envelope, that's not afraid to take chances and experiment with it, rather than just do whatever they think will sell. You know what I'm saying? It's not inspired by it's not inspired as much by corporate America as what mainstream music is considered to be. You know what I'm saying? It's more for like a chosen few, and those people choose themselves.
That's it. Thanks. And look, about education.
What about education? I mean, there's so many things to talk about. You could talk about how the mayor of New York City is trying to get rid of the board of education. You could talk about how, I mean, there's so many different things, man.
Yeah, but talk about
just in terms of the music. The thing about it for me is just like I find this split where I appeal to a lot of kind of like college students and college graduates because I guess of the depth of the lyrics or the kind of music that reminds them of a golden age. So in order for you to qualify into that market, you have to kind of have some kind of recollection of a golden age. But my intended audience is really ages 12 to 18, the people who had the most trouble getting exposed to my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the people that I really want buying my stuff. Those are the people that I want to be exposed to my music. The little kids that have a lot to learn. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you consider the fact that I want to have an influence on how hip-hop sounds when I'm gone. You know? It's kind of hard to do when the only people, or the people who give you the most recognition, are the people that are already aware of what you're trying to teach. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're preaching to the converted. Because it's like, it's the DMX fans and the Rough Rider fans and the Rockefeller fans and the Def Jam fans that I'm trying to appeal to. You know what I'm saying? The Cash Money fans is their attention that I want. Those are the people that I want to receive the messages that I have. But those are like the last people on the list of people that get to hear my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of education, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm all about. Kind of like the way KRS-One used to call it edutainment and all that, where it's music but it's teaching you something. I learned a lot from hip-hop when I was younger. You know, it's like, I'm 5%, and the first time I heard Supreme Mathematics was when Brand Nubian spit it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different influences that have affected my political views, that have affected, how I see myself, you know what I'm saying? My philosophy in general as a result of the music that I listen to. And it's the same for the kids out there, which is why I want to have an influence on that as much as anybody else.
Something about education apart from music?
Huh?
Give me some comments about education apart from music.
Apart from music? Well, just teaching last year, if there's one thing I really learned, it's that kids learn a lot more from each other than they do from anybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can have a whole classroom with 25 kids. If there's one or two up in the class that have kind of won the respect of the rest of the class, then the direction they go affects the whole class. You know what I'm saying? I had some classes where the class clown, by appealing to his sense, you know what I'm saying? By appealing to his sense of humor, but at the same time sparking his mind to want to know something, the whole class will follow behind them. And in other situations where, you know, you have one person who tries to make it their, you know, their sole intent is to try to disrupt the class, you get that same thing. But it's like kids are gonna learn more from each other than they learn from their parents, than they learn from whatever they study, just based on the experiences that they go through. Especially the age I was dealing with, 7th grade, you're talking about 12-year-old kids who they're basically too young to be old and too old to be young. You know what I'm saying? They're at that age where hormones start popping. You know, they're not in elementary school anymore, but they're not in high school yet. So they have a lot on their minds and a lot going on that they want to experiment with. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a crossroads. If you can get their attention then and get them on the quote-unquote right path at that age, chances are it's going to stick when they get into high school and they calm down and realize what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this system in New York City, and I'm sure many other systems nationwide and worldwide, that don't really have the kids as the first priority, makes it very, very hard for teachers and parents and children, you know what I'm saying, to develop a good educational system, because you got situations where, you know what I'm saying, my school was a chancellor's district school, meaning that the same way the Federal Reserve takes over a bank, the chancellor's district will take over a failing school. But the chancellor's district doesn't allow deans in the school. They feel like they don't want to stress discipline to that degree. So as a result, when you have disruptive students, there's nowhere for you to take them. You can't remove them from the class, because if you take them to the assistant principal, they just bring them right back. You know what I'm saying? You can't give the kids the personal attention that they need on an individual level, because the whole school environment isn't conducive to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like one of the many things when you combine that with some of the lack of support that you get from parents, just because they were in that same situation maybe no less than 10 years ago, it becomes very, very hard for the kids to put themselves in a position where they feel comfortable learning. And that's you know, one of the key things the teacher has to face. That's why if you don't really love that job, you shouldn't do it.
Thank you very much.
That's it? That's easy.
Arigato.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That was short, sweet, to the point.
It's